Now I know this might be a very touchy situation and a lot of people might have something to say about this video, but I still want to do it. Because even though tragedy struck in Atlanta, Georgia, he was still one of the greatest superstars to touch that ring. You don't know who this man is right here? I'm about to teach you something today. May 21st, 1967, a star was born, and he went by the name of Christopher Michael Benoit. Now, I know just by looking at his last name, you would have thought it was Bennett, but it's Benoit, folks. Now, I think it's some Canada shit. Like they say words differently in Canada. I think that's why it's Benoit. As a young kid, Benoit was very quiet and he stuck to himself, kind of like a loner. You know, the lone wolf. But everything would change when he started watching the Stampede Wrestling in his hometown in Canada. He knew right then what he really wanted to be in life at a very early age. And this guy right here, this right here was his idol, Mr. Kid Dynamite himself. So as Benoit going through the changes in life and trying to figure out how he gonna do this, he knew one thing. I need to get my body looking just like Kid Dynamite, fam. So he would go through different trainings and different coaches and different people to really try to get the game from. And it all started with Jerry Morrow and Angel. I'm not gonna try to pronounce his last name, just know these are the two guys he started with. November 22nd, 1985 was Chris' first debut wrestling match. Mike and Butch versus Chris and Rick. Yeah, that's some old school shit right there, boy. Now I'm just saying, cause like, why his mama named him Butch? Butch. That's wild to me, folks. Now in 1989, the promotion that he was working for, they had already died off. But Chris Benoit had been putting in so much work. Everything that he done from that point on really brought his career to where it was supposed to be at. Also understand too, he was also training with the Hart family, and he really owed everything that he got, what he got, to the Hart family. Now Chris went to Japan for a little bit, and while he was over there, he met two guys that would become some of his best friends in life, Dean and old Eddie Guerrero. Now this is a crazy one. Now y'all know how Eddie be like, oh, three amigos. This was the original Three Amigos, all right? Dean, Chris, and Eddie. That's why they got that move where they suplex you from the back and they be like, it's the Three Amigos. Yeah, that makes sense now, fam. Now in 1996 is around the time where he went from Japan to WCW. Now when he gets there, obviously it's a lot of controversy and it's a lot that I'm gonna keep up out of this story. I just want to talk about the wrestler. He ends up joining the Four Horsemen. The legendary Four Horsemen, right? It was a guy named Kevin who was married to a woman named Nancy, which she ended up leaving Kevin for Chris. And around that time, Kevin lost the match, retired, but you know, he was still kind of in position. He was like, you know what, I'm not gonna be petty, bro. I'm gonna let you have this right here, you know what I'm saying? And then Chris ended up winning the World Heavyweight Championship, right? Oh, and by the way, he beat Sid with the crippler crossface to do it. Him, Eddie, Malenko, and the baldhead dude, they all left right after that man that won the championship belt and said, you know what? We chunking up the deuces, and I ain't talking Chris Brown. Folk went straight to the WWF. Mr. McMahon, I'm home. Shit, he get over there and made a splash, you feel me? I'm talking about immediately went for the Rock and his championship belt. But it ain't go down the way that he thought it was gonna go. But then here comes WrestleMania. When he gets you in this right here, just know you better start tapping, folks. This was the only time that he won the heavyweight belt in the WWE, right? Which was the WWF at first, then it went to WWE. But y'all know what I'm talking about. This was the only time that he was able to really just touch this goal. And around this time, his best friend Eddie Guerrero came out to celebrate with him, folks. But then November 13, 2005 is when, you know, he ended up losing Eddie. Chris really didn't take this too well, you know. He didn't have time to mourn, and Eddie was the only one who could really talk him out of doing things that he knew he had no business doing, you feel me? It's just one of them sites where when you lose a best friend, it's just a sad thing, you know what I'm saying? Now around this time, Chris got drafted to the ECW, right? And he started helping newer guys, you know, with their talents and just really trying to boost them up on the card. But on this fateful night right here, he was supposed to go against CM Punk, but he did not make it. Because on June 25th, 2007 was the day they found him and his family dead. Now you will have to go into details about what happened with the family and why they died. Like, if you're a true wrestling fan, like, we all know what happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to speak on the dead or certain things that happened within his household, because that's just disrespectful to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave that over there. Just know, me watching this man growing up, it was very iconic. Like, him as a wrestler, you know what I'm saying? Like, watching him perform every Monday, every Friday, like, it was iconic, folks. Like, when he got on the top rope and he jumped off that being headbutted you, like, come on, bro. Like, we all want to do that as a kid, you feel me? Like, we was all at school hitting this move right here, like, at all times, you feel me? Like, come on, bro. Like, who wasn't hitting that Chris Benoit? Like, who wasn't doing it? Like, who wasn't putting their little cousin, they big brother them in the cripple across face? Like, who wasn't doing it? Down there broke his nose, you feel me? Like who wasn't doing it? You feel me? Very, very iconic. Very, very iconic man. But the Chris Benoit story, man, it's a deep one. That's really heavy on my heart. I wanted to do it. I just didn't want to talk about certain things that would shed light on certain things that they already banned him for. You know what I'm saying? Like, they already trying to wash away his career out of the WWE for the things that was done. And I just wanted to shed light on the man that they're trying to make us forget about in the WWE. Because trust me, we'll never forget the good and the bad. I'm just keeping it a bean. I hate it that it happened the way it did, but in the ring, Chris Benoit was probably one of the toughest wrestlers you will ever see step in that ring, man. Tough as nails, man. Come on, man. Just keeping it a bean, dog.